Hey, it's Rob with Road Dirt, and been having some problems with my Yamaha Royal Star in the ignition. It was getting to where it was getting real intermittent as far as making contact. Got me stranded actually up in Duluth, Georgia, and had to get a ride home and come back for the bike and trailer it because the ignition key would just only intermittently make contact. So got it trailered home, got it back to my house, and had another ignition switch. I've had two of them. And what I ended up doing was installing the other one in its place, and the dang thing did the same thing. It was only making intermittent contact as well. I was having a short out or something not making contact in both of them. Well, I called my dad. Hey. And he said, hey, bring it down. We'll take them both apart and go into them and clean the contacts, see what's going on inside. So here we are down in Eatonton, Georgia, and we're about to cut this thing open and go into it. I'll let you take a look at it. So this is what we're going to actually go into. Like I say, been putting the keys in it and just getting intermittent contact, not enough to get me home, obviously, and just can't ride on that. So we're actually going to go in there and cut around the edge right there. He's going to cut those rivets out of it. Here's the other one that we'd actually done it before with. Let's see if I can show you here. See, those have got screws in it, and you can see a little bit of a gap there where we've actually had this one off and cleaned before. So go in there and clean the contacts. We're going to try it on this one here in just a minute.
Right there.
Ooh, you can smell it.
Yeah.
All right, so we've cut the rivet heads off and then had to pry and pry and pry, but
now it's coming off.
Now it's coming off.
There it is.
There we go. Kept the washers for it.
Yep. So now we gotta take the cut off rivets. Actually, they're screws, and they'll come right out. They had some kind of a weird head on them. But we'll replace them with some good machine screws.
We'll replace those with those.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, so now we're going inside. Had to put an impact wrench to it to loosen them up. Most of the time, screws down in there inside the housing are sealed with Loctite.
Right, exactly. That's exactly what they do.
So now we'll go in and have a look at it. And there's the contact points.
Yeah.
And there's the contacts. Looks like that one could use a little cleaning.
Oh yeah, that's a mess.
Those are a mess.
Yeah.
And the contacts here don't look half bad. What we found in the other one was that that contact there and that contact there, they're actually
spring loaded,
and they weren't snapping back. They're made out of brass. They've got a spring on the underside of them, and and they're of course housed in a soft plastic housing, and they were hanging up. That one was hanging up in the other one, and so was that one. So we loosened them up and got them where they'll spring back. These ones look fine, but on this one the problem seems to be that right there.
Yeah.
So we'll give that a clean in as well.
That one right there.
That one's hanging up. It's not
That one's
springing back.
hanging. It's not springing. See these? See how they spring back?
Yep.
And that one's good. That one's good.
That one's
That
good.
one's good.
But that one,
But this is the one I think that's hanging up. Yeah.
which
that,
would account for why it's only making intermittent contact
right.
when you turn the ignition,
Yeah.
when you turn the key in the switch.
Yep.
So got to get them loosened up again. Squirt them with some lubricant, and
Yeah.
then just work them. Just work them and work them and
Yeah.
work them. So I guess over time, because the brass contact is in a plastic housing,
Yeah.
it just gets grit, or
Mhm.
you know, the
Well-
plastic just kind of loses shape somewhat, and it just gets. Yeah.
Yeah.
Plus the fact it's open on the back. That wasn't even sealed.
No.
There's stuff getting in right there on the inside.
Going down through right here, because this thing mounts like that, and actually like
yeah.
that. Yeah.
And just, that's a design flaw.
Yeah.
It is on the Royal Star, might be on other bikes as well. A way to let grit
Yeah.
and grime and whatnot down into the ignition housing. Plus
Yeah.
the fact the whole thing is made out of brass and cheap plastic.
Yeah, the inside's
inside,
made out
yes.
of plastic, which is par for the course nowadays.
True. So once you get inside to the contact points, basically it's a matter of just spraying them and then cleaning them,
Working them
and then
until
just
they
working
loosen
them with a screwdriver and popping them down, popping them up, popping them down. You know, just getting them to where they spring again. Because if they're not making contact, that's because they're recessed in the plastic housing. So my Royal Star is a 1998, so it's a bit older, but still, man, they were making those fairly cheaply, I guess, then. Because
That's not a good design. It's just a bad design switch.
Yeah. So
I don't understand why they didn't seal the bottom of it up.
that's true. So if you have an ignition switch problem, and you're willing to go into it, hey, have to cut the rivets off, a little bit of labor on that, and get down inside. You might be able to save yourself several $100s by just taking yours apart and cleaning the contacts, get everything working again in there, and reinstall it. So both of these are looking pretty good. I think we're going to be all right. Of course, the telltale thing will be getting it back in the Royal Star and seeing if it cranks. But I'm feeling pretty good about it. So we'll show you in just a second how you can tell you're getting current. You'll be able to get current because there's a way to put an ohm meter on it and test it and see. We'll do that in just a second. Be sure to clean these contacts as well. See how these are kind of got a little bit of film on them, a little coating of debris, and you basically take a little bit of sandpaper, and I'm going to do this with one hand, and you put a scrub on it.
Yeah,
Get those,
rub it a little bit.
get those all clean again in there, and aid in the connections for sure.
Rub them a little bit.
Get those surfaces good.
Yeah, that looks good.
So that they make good contact with these. Rub on those a little bit.
Yeah.
Get those shiny again.
Yep. Yeah. See the notches right there? One there and one here.
Line it back up.
Yeah,
again, so you put
that's
it back in
that,
the way it came out.
right. That just lines this plate back up. Now we're ready to go back on.
And of course, we'll replace the rivets
with screws.
A set of
but
screws this time, which we've got a bucket of those we can go through and find a pair that'll fit it and go back together with it. Try it on the ohm meter. So you get it all screwed back together and
tumble back in.
drop the tumbler back in there. Good deal.
Yeah.
And then back together with the housing. Where is it? There we go.
Now what we're going to do first is test it.
Okay.
Because we can turn it. If I got the right key?
The key for that one is that one right there.
Okay.
All right. Got it back together. Now we're going to put an ohm meter to it. And test this thing.
All right.
It might take a few hands here to do it.
Let's make sure this is working. It is. Yeah.
Maybe I can do that one.
And
It's going to be a little awkward.
it's going to be hard to do with. All right, stick it with on top of each other. See, I gotta
I think so, yeah.
You know what?
Hold on, we're not going to
All
record.
right.
You wanna make the contacts,
And
and that's what you want right there. That's what you want.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yep, it's working. Yep.
So that is how you break into your ignition so you can fix it.
Yep.
So-
We got two good ignition switches now.
Yeah, check it out. And that probably saved me a good $300 or something if I were to try to go get an OEM one, or
Oh yeah.
at least a couple hundred if I were to try to find one on the internet, on eBay,
And then you
or
don't
some.
know if it's any.
And then you don't know what you're getting. Yeah, that's right. You may get one with the same thing, unless you bring an ohm meter with you. So, do it yourself. We actually cut the bolt heads off. I mean the rivet heads off of those, and went into it, gave it a cleaning, gave this old one. Now I got two of them. I'm going to put this original one back in, and save that one right there as the backup. So, worked out good. Yeah. Ignition switch cleaning. If I can do it, you can do it. Of course, my dad is the old master mechanic. There's nothing he can't do when it comes to mechanical stuff. Hey, anyway, thanks for tuning in. This is Rob with Road Dirt. Over and out.